more content to you, like community. I got a bunch of new subscribers today. Well, that post, I had a post, Ben Callahan, shout out Ben Callahan, has been very supportive. I do it for the fans. I do it for you guys. I mean, people are watching for whatever reason, so I'm such a sad, pathetic narcissist. If I can get 4 people to fucking watch me, fuck it, I'm there. I'm there. I'll play it. I'll do it. I'll do the gig. Well, he shared a clip from yesterday's stream, whale watching. He had it, he's been generous about sharing that with his Instagram stories and shit. And so I reshared it on the Easy Paradise thing because he tagged the fucking Easy Paradise thing. These people are all giving me ugly looks. I'm an influencer, okay? Leave me alone. Let me influence you, assholes. Look, you're all going to be doing this. A year from now, you're all going to be walking around with selfie sticks, okay? So this is what the future looks like, baby. This is it. This is welcome to the future. I'm live on my walk home. Yeah, so I just thought I'd jump on for an hour or something. Well, so I reposted this still from my live stream that Ben Callahan had shared, and I got a lot of positive response. I actually got a lot of views. I think I got probably 100 views just from sharing that to my fucking Instagram story. That I mean, I don't remember it being a particularly good live stream, and in fact, the first 10 minutes are mute. So a lot of people may have just clicked it and been like, "What the fuck is this? This is whack," and I'm never watching Matt Proctor's content again. But it did get a lot of story views. I don't know if do other people look at story views? Is that sick? Is it a sign of mental illness to look at story views? I feel like that's not healthy. Story views, what do they mean? What does it mean when somebody looks at your story? I feel like they are communicating something. The people look at your story, it's the people that have a crush on you, right? I mean, that's what it is. Otherwise, why would they look at your story? I guess they're just interested in you. The people that just raw dog everybody's story, I could not imagine going through life being able to handle that. Instagram, I really do think Instagram is evil. I do think that they want to create drama. They want to undermine our confidence. They want to create problems that aren't there. They want to get between us. They want to manipulate and attack our fear of missing out. They know that that's our weak spot. Is everybody hanging out without me? That's our Achilles heel as millennials. Instagram is so fucking millennial. TikTok, I guess, is Gen Z probably, right? That's why you're not supposed to be on it if you're old. But Instagram is pure millennial, baby. It's got that millennial goodness. Clout, stalking, surveillance, faux nostalgia. But, yeah, so I got a lot of story views. So it seemed like people might be interested in the live streams. I don't know. I hope people are watching them. I hope more people watch them. But, I hope a variety of people watch them. If people even click on them once, I don't know. I feel like this is becoming normalized too. Even though I've been doing this for fucking years, it's just going to be more and more people getting on live and just running their fucking mouth. It's starting to happen. I can already feel it. YouTube is starting to promote people that don't have that many views. I saw this guy on YouTube's front page talking. He did a 10-minute live stream about John Ashbery, some old guy, and it had like 8 views. I'm not subscribed to this guy. I don't know who he is, but YouTube was suggesting it to me. So that gives me hope that they are supporting more niche content. We're live from Soho. Honestly, this is one of the best parts of Manhattan, to be honest. This whole, normally I would get off on Union Square, but lately I've been getting off on Canal Street and walking up through Soho by Baltazar's, Lombardi's Pizza, Little Italy, Chinatown, Dime Square way over there. to be cringe about it, to be as cringe as possible. I know people love it when I talk about Times Square by name, because I'm not cool. I mean, I don't know if people think that I'm cool, but I've never been cool. I've always just been a loner. I guess I'm just a loner. See, I thought I could be a part of poetry community. I thought I could be a part of New York literary world or something. And it's like, I think I'm just a loner. I don't think I really fit in communities. And that's okay. You can be in New York and you can participate. Open mics, I think what I liked about them was you could just like dip in and dip out. You didn't know anybody. You weren't even, you might meet a few people, but it was always new people. So I don't know if it's like the same people every time or people know who you are. I don't know. That kind of changes it. Is that weird? Is that like some kind of like weird like loner behavior? Like I would like to just travel around doing open mics in the kind of anonymity or something. But it's like, I don't know. It's beautiful having a poetry community, but it's a lot of pressure. And Instagram is kind of the theater where this shit plays out. Social media is the place that we kind of like display, advertise, enact, or the movie of the self, the celebrity of the self, the YOLO, the YOLO of the self. Go, this is my fucking badass life. Here's a food. I'm in fucking Italy. I'm looking hot. I'm in a fucking, I'm tan. I'm in good shape. I'm wearing plastic. I'm wearing plastic yoga pants. I'm wearing microplastics. My outfit is entirely composed of microplastics today. I've got microplastics in my uterus. Hey, excuse me. I mean, I'm an X-rated comedian. I grew up. My mom liked Andrew Dice Clay. Okay, what can I say? Does that explain it all to you? I remember sitting around in high school, my mom and Dave watching Andrew Dice Clay live at Madison Square Garden. Hickory dickory dock. And to be honest, I like Andrew Dice Clay. Why not? I'm a Jim Belushi fan. I was born in the Reagan era, during the Cold War, God damn it. We played Ataris for shit's sake. I remember going over to Jeff Grunwald's house and playing fucking Atari for fuck's sake. His parents wouldn't let him have a Nintendo, or they couldn't buy it or something. Those were desperate times. Not like now. There's just infinite entertainment in every fucking direction. You can watch anything you've ever wanted to watch. We used to have to go to the library and get fucking DVDs. If I wanted to see an Antonioni film, I had to go to the fucking library. I had to get interlibrary loan. Does that even mean anything to anybody? Interlibrary loan, does that ring a bell? God bless the libraries and the hard copy, baby. The physical media, the tangible media. So you had to fucking reserve that shit, schedule it for pickup. You'd get all kind of fines if you didn't take it back. $1 a day for a fucking DVD. Now you can just steal it. You just steal on everything on the internet for free. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Internet, they just ripped off all the artists. The tech people just stole everything. How do they let this happen? I think that's beautiful. It's like a replicator. It's like hackers or something did that. I don't know. They can't really beat giving shit away for free on the internet, so I'm down, But I'm working on my new book. That's what I'm doing. I'm kind of excited. I've been typing up. So basically my process, I'm constantly keeping a notebook. Maybe people kind of know this about me. I've always got a pocket notebook. I'm always reading from my pocket notebook. And I'm just kind of looking back over what I've written and just assessing what the fuck I'm doing. Why it doesn't connect with people. What do I need to do to make it clearer for fucking people, make it more popular, make it more accessible, make it more meaningful, make it more publishable? I don't know. I do what I think is a good idea. it has an inner reason for existing. It's not always necessarily about making it clearer for the audience. It's just about enunciating every goddamn thing. And, it's meant to be something that's sort of understood in some kind of like trance-like, sleep-like mental state. Like, it's meant to be like the kind of thinking you do in a dream or something. It's like dream talking. It's supposed to be like speaking in tongues or snake handling or horse whispering or I don't know, channeling, like the big giant head. People watch Third Rock from the Sun. That was kind of a mid-show, but every time they talk to the big giant head, he'd kick into this whole thing. The shaman, the tree of shamans, okay? We're living in the tree of shamans, okay? So yeah, I'm reading this Alice Notley book, Culture of One or something. In the Pines. It's got a lot of Bob Dylan lines in it. Oh, I don't want to go this way. It's got a lot of personal history stuff. It's amazing because it's sort of like a what's that show? True Detective. So there's like some kind of weird crime thing or something going on. I don't know. But it's like rural, but it's autobiographical. I don't know. It's just amazing how she twines this stuff together and makes it accessible for people. But I don't know. Partially what I do, I don't want to obey any of the bylaws of grammar or advertising style, media, corporate media, Hollywood media. We just want to use it in a more direct way. We want to use it in an original way. Live streaming is like, I can do this. Why would I not do this? Like get on fucking talk and connect directly with the people. Yap, share our 2 cents. Kamala. We're still on the Kamala euphoria, the Kamala euphoria. Those Democrats. That was quite a shrewd play. I'm proud of the Democrats. They usually just blow it. It's always Al Gore, John Kerry, Hillary. Just disaster after disaster. So the Democrats actually doing something that had some good tactics. They kind of, I feel like they intercepted. They kind of stole the momentum and ran it back. They got a safety or something. Now apparently Trump regrets J.D. Vance. I've already gone all in on hating J.D. Vance and trashing J.D. Vance. Now it's like apparently they're going to get rid of J.D. Vance. That's not good. But they've totally changed the conversation, It went from being like, these guys are too old and just hopeless. They're both psychotic old people arguing over their fucking golf score. Now it's like, Kamala, it's like there's not really a negative, narrative. She's not Hillary. There's no emails. There's no Hunter's laptop. And there's kind of a positive. It's like, whoa, this is exciting. It's like she's laughing. She's dancing. She just fell out of a coconut tree. She's going viral. She's brat. I don't know if people saw this, but Charlie XCX said that Kamala is brat. So, yeah. They've kind of stolen the momentum back from Trump dodging bullets. Trump faking his assassination attempt. And they've kind of stolen the narrative. The Democrats are usually not that good at setting the narrative, setting the frame, getting the media on their side, getting people on their side. They're usually very bad at messaging. And I think Biden, it's hard to say, they've been sort of clear about what he's done. He lowered prescription drugs for older people. I don't know what the fuck else. It's kind of sad. I just want to say, it is kind of sad. I hate goodbyes, you know? And it's the end of it. You know, the Biden years have not been bad. They've been kind of nice, in a way. They've been pretty nice, I think we can agree. After this fucking tempestuous Trump era, in the stormy, trolly, abusive, intimidating, bullying Trump era, the Biden years were a little more fun,
You guys have
sort of, I think. I don't know. They were for me. Open mics everywhere, live streaming my ass off. Weed was legalized. Buying weed from fucking, people on the street was pretty cool. So, here's to 8 more years. Let's get 8 more years of Kamala in there. And, anyway, so yeah, I'm working on my new book. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. It's basically my writing since February when my last book came out, War Commercial. Which you gotta say, I think War Commercial was like one of my best books, to be honest. My best chat books. It might be the best one. Maybe. If I had to pick the standouts, so it's like, I was thinking about this, because I put out probably about one chat book every 6 months or something since like 2018. And they're narrative diary poems, but they are meant to add up to kind of, like I was saying, kind of a grand New York novel in kind of one work that's tells the story. It's autofiction, but it's also in real time and poetry. It's not some wimpy ass prose, okay? It's not some fake ass novel that's like trying to sell a bunch of copies and get optioned by Netflix and be a YA hit. I mean, I guess that's cool. Maybe I should write a YA. But I don't know, man. I do have a number of books that I have self-published. When I look back on my life achievements, I did what I believed in. I stand by my books. I think they're good. I made the books that I wanted to make, really. That's why I started doing it. It's like, I know what I want my book to look like. I know what font I want to use. I know what I want to put on the cover. What the fuck do I need a fucking company to help me do that? They'll probably put some stupid ass looking thing out anyway. Just do it yourself, right? Hands-on. Now, it's like, well, we live in the age of fucking, like, print to order. Everybody's already doing... okay, this is a point that I wanted to make, is I think that it's been an illusion that we've lived in most of our lives that, like, musicians are, like, you gotta get... before electronic music and amplifiers and shit, it's like people had to make their own fucking music. So if you were a musician, there was any number of opportunities to like play live. That was how people made music. That's how people transmitted music. If you wanted to hear fucking music, you had to play it. You had to play it on a fucking piano with sheet music or God knows what. Some kind of weird flute or fucking ocarina or fucking Jew's harp. I don't know if that's a politically correct name or not, but I apologize. Music probably sounded pretty funky, pretty sparse, pretty wild, and there was musicians everywhere. Now it's like we kind of have this, we look on people like, oh, you're trying to do your music career, it's like really not working, nobody gives a shit, you're on Instagram, you're posting your gig or whatever, nobody fucking cares. But it's like, 100 years ago, there weren't these mega celebrities that provide, now it's just like electronic reproductions of music that everybody listens to. Everybody listens to the Beatles, everybody listens to the fucking Charlie XCX, or everybody listens to fucking Taylor Swift, or everybody listens to fucking the Rolling, whatever it is. hip hop. And so if you're a local artist or you just have some kind of small gig or something, you can feel kind of dwarfed. Like what you're doing is sort of like, I don't know, inconsequential or you're pathetic, you're not making a living, you're not Bon Jovi, you're not some like world level, recording artist with like huge audience, huge arenas. I mean, I don't know. It's such a business. It's so like, how do people get on that level? It's like if you want to communicate to that many people, you do have to kind of dumb your shit down or something. I don't know. Are those people just better? When I'm thinking about my own work, like, why doesn't it connect with people like I'd like it to? It's like I could make it clearer. I could make it more impactful rather than, I try to go wide and not deep. With these journals, like this new one I'm typing up will probably be 60 pages. The last chapbook was 60 pages. So that's 120 pages of book in the last year, basically. Those two chapbooks would be all the writing from like last July till now. And so this new one has got my Montauk pieces. It's got sort of a little micro book within the book. There's a chapbook within the chapbook. Special pull-out section. Where we go to Montauk, so it's got my Montauk. All my books are sort of these location-based travel. I'm like Rick Steves Europe. Matt Proctor's poetry travel guides. Take my book with you. Take my Paris book with you to Paris. Retrace the steps. There's good recommendations in there. Tips from the locals. Not just the fucking Fodor's shit or whatever. Or whatever people use, Google Trips or whatever. They probably have some kind of trip thing. I saw a TikTok, I think. It was Rihanna in this little karaoke bar. This little karaoke bar is very hip on Lafayette. I don't know what it is about this area. It's just like maybe hip people work here. But my friend Jenna invited me to a party there once. Way back, probably 2016 or something. Before it all went to shit. Before the hit shit the fan. And, I saw a TikTok the other day about how Rihanna was in that karaoke bar with, who's the guy she's dating? I don't even know. Is it A$AP Rocky? Is it Tyga? I'm sorry, I'm not that familiar. Who's Travis Scott? Who's the guy who killed somebody? Or like, what was that Astro World? Or what was the concert where all the people died? He was dating like Kendall Jenner or something. I don't know. See, this is the culture that matters. It's like, how do I become, Harry Styles? How do I become Chris Pine or Chris Pratt or Chris Evans or Christopher Walken? The culture just wants social media all-stars. It's like they don't want these little crummy zine artists from the 90s with Kinko's fucking memberships. It's like that's played out. That shit's played out. Excuse me, where are you? No, I'm gonna go home. I'm just doing this real fast and then I'm going home. I just got on real fast. I'm working on my new book. I'm excited because I'm typing up my new book. But I just wanted to connect with some of my fans real fast. Because I got a nice response on my live. Where are you, Ashley? Okay, I mean, I'm near the subway that I need to be at. So I'm literally gonna go in this fucking subway and get on it probably, you know, whenever my phone dies, which will probably be an hour and a half or something.
Oh, my phone.
But I thought I just walk around, you know, the lower environs here. And, you know, this is, you're in Dime Square. See, I'm not over there. I'm not over there. Some real flaneur shit here, okay? You're at Forget-Me-Not. Oh, boy. Okay, well, I'm not really going to stay out. I'm going to go back pretty soon. I want to go type up my notebooks. So I'm giving away the poetry secrets of the pros. I'll probably go home soon, but I'm at Dime Square. Okay. Yeah, you're at Dime Square. What's going on in Dime Square? Is it cool? Are you having a blast with all the young people? Okay, love you, Ashley. Are you hanging out with Dean Kissick? Yeah, I'll see you Friday. Yeah, so I was talking about I'm typing up the Montauk. I typed up the Montauk piece today. Ship in a bottle. Love you, Ashley. 21 Pilots is Ashley's favorite band. Yeah, that's right. I'm live streaming everything. I'm live streaming until I get famous, okay? I'm live streaming until I get fucking famous. Hey now. I was listening to Howard Stern interview Brian Wilson earlier today. Supposedly it's the best Brian Wilson interview. He immediately just gets into the shit about his dad. What happened? Your dad hit you over the head with a 2x4? Were you banging her? Hey now. Canal Street, here we are. Photo shoot. Ashley's got a photo shoot tomorrow for her book. She's got some kind of real photographer or something.
All right.
Deep cleaning my apartment. What is deep cleaning one's living space? Okay, well, I've gotten out of the habit of cleaning. Which is not good. I've been kind of notoriously bad about cleaning with my last few roommates. Not that I'm not like a filthy person. I will not leave dishes out. I'll never leave food out. You know, like, there should be nothing like that animals can get in. You know, there should be no insects. You know, like, I'm not filthy. You know, I will not live in filth. You know, but I'm also kind of like a clutter guy. You know, that apartment I had in fucking Chelsea, I would have taken better care of that place. But I just don't take that good of care of any of my living space because it's like, how long am I going to be here? It's just like my shit has been in and out of boxes for the last 6 fucking years. And so, I don't really want to, I didn't really fully move into that apartment. Yeah, Ashley, good poem. I don't even remember it. What was it about? Refresh my memory, okay? Ashley, good job. Good job. Yay. Here's a little fucking pat on the head, okay? Compliment. Validation. Okay, so, but deep cleaning, okay, it drives me nuts because this cleaning woman comes to the apartment now every week. She mops the whole fucking apartment. It takes like hours to do this. She cleans the bath, but she does not clean the bathtub. She cleans every fucking floor, mops it, sweeps it, but the bathtub is fucking disgusting. I really do not want to take a shower. No offense, to where I live, but it's like, why not clean the fucking bathtub? It's like, that's the thing that needs cleaning more than anything. That if anything in the house should be clean, it should be the fucking bathtub. In the kitchen, obviously. And so, my roommates would get pissed at me because, I was not really like, hey, every Saturday we're gonna clean, guys. Won't that be fun? Like, let's put some music on. We'll fucking go cleaning and shit. And I just really, I don't think you need to clean that much. You know, once a week, it's insane. And I think cleaning is like the fascist. Like when we lived in the sludge, the fucking cleaning was like the thing that was the point of like contention. Where it was like very chill. Everybody loved each other. Everybody loved hanging out and shit. And it was when we had meetings about cleaning and when people became like psychotic about that, that's when like that shit should take care of itself, you know? Yeah, cleaning chemicals, like, okay, that shit should take care of itself. It's like bathing, you know? Like, I'm not anti-bathing, but I'm also like, you know, there's natural shit your body produces, natural oils. Like, fucking, look at what's in this shampoo. Look what's in this fucking shit you're putting on your body. Bath bombs, different kind of soaps and shit. And, that's, like, gotta be way fucking worse for you. And I don't trust the people, Les Wexner, or whoever's making it. You know, the Clorox people, or whoever's making, like, okay, I won't name any names, but somebody I know, they, like, clean every fucking week. They clean every Saturday, you know, on, like, their hands and knees in the fucking bathroom and shit. Bleaching the toilet, you know, all that shit. But then they've also been to the emergency room, like, a bunch of times for, like, getting infection, you know, in, like, their hand or whatever. And it's like, what good? Okay, love you, Ashley. Love you. You know, what good is fucking, you know, exterminating every living thing in the fucking room. It's got to be, I mean, bleach. Think about how toxic this shit is. What's that shit, Comet? You know, like, it will kill you if you swallow it, if you get it in your eyes, any of that shit. It'll literally, like, burn your fucking esophagus. So it's like, you know, it's just like a lot of the shit that they sell us in this country. The diet, you gotta use these cleaning products all the fucking time. You gotta, you know, bleach your fucking floor every week. You gotta mop. Like, okay, I basically follow the poet's hygiene routine, which, like, you know, Quentin Crisp was like, you gotta have 3 years of dust build up before you even have anything going on, you know, like, you know, I don't even know if this is just a poetry thing, but, you know, poets are, like, in love with decay. I was sitting in my room today and the paint on the windowsill is cracked. You know, it's like this white paint, just like the plain kind of like primer, whatever the fuck they use on, you know, apartments. And it's all cracked and shit. I'm like, this is beautiful. I love this. I love that it's decaying. It's it's old. It's falling apart, you know, like Tintern Abbey or some shit. You know, the sublime kind of takes place in these broken places, these places of disuse. I mean, that's what New York was. New York was this place that was basically like evacuated. You know, the East Village was all these empty buildings that they just light them on fire or whatever. So it had this kind of art ruin quality, this kind of abandoned quality that's kind of poetic. And renovation and making things new, that's a different kind of poetry, I guess. That's the poetry everybody likes. That's consumerism. That's capitalism. That's money. Get in here, gut renovate this fucking place and make it all new. You know, put in new appliances, put in new... Ashley, what do you want now? Yes, Ashley, we'll see you Friday. Okay? Yes to kisses on Friday, okay? This neon is really cool, whatever the fuck this place is. is really cool. Let There Be Neon. We need more of this shit. You know, there's their phone number. If anybody needs any neon, call Let There Be Neon. We need more of this. You know, I mean, and so, you know, if you come to my room, it's like there's books and stacks all over the fucking place. There's just loose pages all over the floor. As I'm walking to the bathroom or whatever, these Ashley short story gets stuck to my feet or whatever. There's poesy. You know, there's just fucking poesy flowing like fucking water. Like little trickling streams bursting forth. Little trickling fucking springs, you know, that run underneath the goddamn concrete in the streets. Yeah, Prospero's books, that looked cool. Peter Greenaway. Tell me about Prospero's books. That looked interesting. We'll have to check that out. He did Babette's Feast, right? I mean, there you go. Yeah, your apartment is dope. It's well on its way. You know, the fucking bookshelves, the whole thing. It's the perfect poetry apartment or comedian apartment. It's the same thing. You know, it's the same fucking thing. It's perfect for one person. It's got great windows, great view. It's not ostentatious, it's not huge, but it's like just perfect to be creative, have people over, write, get laid. There you go. Adaptation of the Baby of Macon is great. Okay, Baby of Macon. That sounds interesting. What is that? Is that Peter Greenaway? Yeah, adaptation of Tempest. So it's Shakespeare. Yeah. The fucking Tempest. Yeah, Prospero is like my idol. You know, Prospero's books, his staff, his kind of monologue, the way, you know, he kind of comes up at the end and gives his little spiel, wrapping it up. We all such stuff as dreams are made on. And he's just a total master of time and space. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, The Tempest is pretty magical. It's just a harlequin of a play. There's just a lot of island intrigue and adventure. It's like a Jim Belushi movie of Titus. Yeah, I've seen that Titus. I bought the DVD in high school, and I watched that movie a bunch of fucking times because it's Julie Taymor. She directed The Lion King on Broadway, which is a massive hit that's been running forever and basically created like the Disney Times Square monster. But she also just was like kind of a legit theater director and did a lot of avant-garde type shit, a lot of puppet kind of shit. She went to Bali, you know, she would travel the world learning kind of, you know, tribal fucking theater and shit. So she had that kind of New York life, adventure, going out, flying out of New York into wherever, like Indiana Jones or something. And then coming back, like Allen Ginsberg, flying to India, then coming back to JFK or whatever. New York lends itself, I think, to that airport, international. That's a big reason why people can live here, because it's just the hub. Oh, there's a nice little band or something going on. Live music, once again, at the Antique Garage. See? It's nice. There should always be live music. You know, it shouldn't just be fucking canned, you know, Chappelle Rowan or fucking TikTok hits, Sabrina Carpenter, everywhere you go. You know, poets should read to each other. You know, I was thinking the other day, it's almost like you're trying to recreate the condition of being a child or something. Where it's like, think about probably some of your earliest memories or some of the first things you ever do is have your parents read to you. I guess. I don't know if my parents read to me. I don't remember my parents reading to me, but this is portrayed as something that happens. I don't know. I think my mom read to me. I'm not sure. I don't remember it. I don't remember that, actually. I was actually not good at reading until like probably first grade or something. Um, but then I got really into it. My mom would take us to the library and shit. In second grade, I'd just stuff my backpack with books. I'd just check out 25 fucking books from the library. Because I just loved them. I loved learning. Well, I also think it ties you in this kind of Freudian way. Reading, I think, is like maternal in a weird way. I think books are like women's bodies to me. There's like an association there. Because my mom was the one that was like a reader and like had books around, really. I mean, we had books at my dad's house, but it was, my dad liked TV, kind of. And, so it's like, but also I don't think that's uncommon for people to have their parents read to them. Probably your mom, maybe your dad, I don't know. Or your parents tell you a story. And so I think books, bookstores, literature has this kind of like Freudian, Oedipal, that's right, it's Oedipal thing. The book, a book is like a security blanket for me. And this is something I've tried to kind of break myself of the last few years. Because it's like my consumerism is like buying books, going to bookstores. And I just felt like I'm just kind of a sucker. And, what's in these books that's so fucking important? Favorite Shakespeare play? God, it's been a long time since I've even fucking read a Shakespeare. Let's see. I mean, obviously Hamlet, Hamlet is kind of like the ultimate white male live stream. There's a lot of live streaming in Hamlet. That this two solids flesh would melt. That's like his little soliloquy Twitch stream. Hamlet would definitely be on Twitch. He'd definitely be like some fucking edgelord dickhead. He'd be beating people up in public. On Kick. He'd be on Kick. He'd be vaping. The Winter's Tale is amazing. I'll just talk about some that maybe I've read that, Love's Labor's Lost is interesting. What else? Looking for Richard by Al Pacino, I think, is probably one of the best Shakespeare films. It's just, he talks about what the play is. One of the best Shakespeare movies is Shakespeare Behind Bars, which is a movie about them doing Shakespeare in jail. And this fucking guy who killed his wife is doing like Othello. And he starts like crying. It's insane. It's just like, it's crazy the way that the play kind of unlocks this stuff in him. I was in the Scottish play and I was in the Tempest. And I do think the Scottish play like cursed me. I think I've been living in the curse of the Scottish play ever since. That's why my live streams are not a hit with people. Because I was in the Scottish play in 2008. Then the financial crisis happened. Literally 6 months later. So, it's true. The curse is real, God damn. I don't know. I mean, what else? King Lear. King Lear, I think, is just like one of the ultimate poems. It's just so huge. The language is so fucking biblical and kind of psychedelic and shit. What else? I'm trying to think of one that's like, Much Ado About Nothing. I read fucking. Daughter said, order my books. Okay. Oh yeah, is that from Tempest. What else? Yeah, The Winter's Tale is a really interesting kind of like genre splice up. The ending is totally amazing. Exit, Pursued by a Bear, is in that. Maybe I'll talk about Shakespeare movies. The Ethan Hawke Hamlet is pretty good. Of course, the Olivier Hamlet. But yeah, Looking for Richard. The best Shakespeare movie is probably Chimes at Midnight. I would say if there's one Shakespeare thing that if you haven't experienced it or seen it or watched it, definitely watch Chimes at Midnight, which is sort of a mashup of Henry IV, Part 1 and 2, and Henry V. And it's all Falstaff and the war scenes. And it's an incredible movie. It's Orson Welles, But it's like, you've probably seen Henry IV, or I don't know, is there a good... That's such a weird setup where it's two parts and they're both kind of long and there's like kind of a history war thing going on, but also like the tavern shit with Falstaff. So Orson Welles basically cut a lot of shit out and just kept it to the Falstaff stuff. Made a movie out of that. Chimes at Midnight. Is Shakespeare overrated? I don't think Shakespeare is overrated, but I do think Shakespeare is probably produced, maybe. I think it is actually, I don't know. When I was younger, I used to be very romantic about it. I just thought that was so beautiful, and one of the good things about our society was oh my God, they're doing Shakespeare plays for free. In Central Park, or in my hometown, Columbus, Ohio, that's where I was doing Shakespeare. It's they had this outdoor theater in Schiller Park, which was kind of like the Village or something of Columbus, Ohio. And they do outdoor Shakespeare for free, so rich people can come and drink wine and eat cheese and shit. Sit on blankets. I definitely think Shakespeare is not overrated as a poet. He's an amazing, artist of the English language. The way he uses the language. It's hard to know exactly how much of that he actually originated or was responsible for, because a lot of shit probably didn't survive or doesn't exist or this or that. But at the same time, it's all there. It all works. These stories are amazing. The plays are unbelievable. The architecture of them, they're memorable. They're archetypal. There's the thing about Shakespeare is there's great roles for women, but I think one of the things is there's no roles really for old women. Antony and Cleopatra, I think, is a good one that doesn't get produced that much. Othello might be the best Shakespeare play, to be honest, as far as just the kind of pure drama and the language. But I don't know. I don't think Shakespeare is overrated. I think they teach Shakespeare the wrong way. I remember when I was in high school, I really didn't want to learn it from the teacher because they just didn't make it any fun. Julius Caesar. We had a whole Julius Caesar thing. We had to memorize fucking... But, people should read Chaucer. There's other shit that people should read. I think Shakespeare, because it's plays, that's one thing that makes it kind of travel better. It's they're not novels. They're not 300 fucking pages where you have to really be able to read. Shakespeare, they can make movies out of it. You can just see it. Even if you're an idiot, even if you're illiterate, you can sit there and watch it, and it's gonna you see what happens. You see people get killed or whatever. So, I don't really think Shakespeare is overrated, but I also think that there's a lot of other writers that should be read more. I don't know. It's in a certain way, maybe Shakespeare is the fucking just like baddest writer. I don't know. It's like I said, it's been kind of a long time since I really went into Shakespeare like super hard, because when Trump got elected, it's just like, well, Shakespeare's a fucking white guy, a white English guy. It's part of British colonialism, is like the fact that Shakespeare is such an amazing artist that like these plays are just fucking everywhere. And Kenneth Branagh and fucking, you know, they're kind of just like things that we resort to. Like we've been using Shakespeare to like explain shit for so long. It's like, maybe it is good to just throw this out and start afresh, because it's like, there's things about it. It was a patriarchal world. It was an old world. It was a, you know, a racist world. And so like, maybe, you know, I don't know if there's another figure that you could use in that way, where it's like almost like the fucking Bible or something, where it's like the whole world is kind of in Shakespeare's plays. You know, there's things about power, politics, government. He's very good about that kind of stuff. History. You know, you can learn about British fucking history, world history, sort of. But he writes about, you know, the inner machinations of high office in a lot. You know, that's one of his prime subjects. But it's also about families and fathers and sons and daughters and all that shit. You know, love, Romeo and Juliet. But at the same time, it's just like, it's so fucking played out. I wonder about Shakespeare's influence in my own writing. Because I'm like, you know, I studied Shakespeare so much when I was younger. And one of the most influential books I think I ever read about writing was this book that was Shakespeare monologues. And it was just this book, it was like for actors, where it was like, these are like 50 monologues or whatever, or 100 monologues from Shakespeare plays that you can do, you know, like your audition or whatever. But at the same time, every monologue had like an explanation, and like there was sort of exegesis about what it meant, what he was doing. And so it kind of highlighted things about the poesy and the poetics of it, were like, you know, a lot of what Shakespeare does, it's like he uses these kind of cluster syllables, the consonants, the vowels, the syllable clusters all have color, the sound all has onomatopoeic effect in Shakespeare. And so the way he arranges the letters and shit, I don't know that the English language has progressed that far beyond. It kind of codified when Shakespeare was writing. And so he was at a unique point where he could work with it because it was still alive and sort of changing and not necessarily nailed down. But at the same time, now, because of him, it's like everybody just kind of uses Shakespeare equations and sayings and is sort of eating from that tree or whatever. And so I'm also down to explore other people, you know. But I don't know, like I said, it's been a long time since I've really last year Hamlet was in Central Park. This year they're renovating the fucking theater, which I'm not hopeful about. But to be honest, there's some shit in my Central Park book about that. Behold the Summer of Hamlet and shit like that. But I didn't actually watch Hamlet or listen to it at all last year. So, but I think those speeches, you know, this too soon solid flesh will melt, or to be or not to be, you know, those things are just like deep. They're deep slam poetry, you know. They're some of the best slam poetry ever composed. Hamlet was a total slam artist. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I missed the last few comments. Let me go back here. Homer and Virgil, yeah. Yeah. What's up, Adam S? Tolstoy. Rand, there you go. Yeah, Anthony and Cleopatra, there you go. Everything is a version. How do we escape and get in the next dimension? Other things, Catullus. A lot of the New York school is supposedly like based on Catullus. I haven't really delved that much. I have this book of translations that I got. I think it's Catullus. It might be somebody else. I think it's Catullus. It's by Vincent Katz. And he would be the perfect person to do that. Because he kind of speaks both idioms where he's like New York school and ingrained in that, but like, he's a serious guy. He could do very meticulous translations. He's worldly, I'm sure. And he kind of understands that high art, social, whatever. But I haven't read Catullus, I don't think. Is that Catullus? Maybe I'll pick it up when I get home. How do we get into the next dimension? Well, that's what I thought video kind of was. I thought where Shakespeare was with print and where the English language was sort of still kind of unofficial. The King James Bible came out in 1608 or something. I think the King James Bible was influenced by Shakespeare. A lot of the way that they fucking wrote the English in the King James Bible, I think, had a lot to do with the poetry that was going on at that time. And, it's like the English language kind of set like concrete. Maybe not at that time, but that was really when print started to get, more disseminated. The sonnets, that was originally like a pamphlet that circulated kind of privately. And that was unusual for Shakespeare because it was actually just poetry. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't dramatic poetry. It was just designed to be printed. Even though it's rhetorical and plays aloud very well. So I thought that video was like the fucking, I thought I could be the Shakespeare of vlogging. I thought we were like at a unique point in history where like, okay, Shakespeare, his shit is still exaggerated for dramatic effect. It's still like heightened and compressed and stylized and all that kind of shit. Whereas like we're at a unique point in history where we can literally, for the first time ever, we can tell stories with real life. We don't have to write it down. We don't have to like, write it down, rehearse it, or, use it later or something. It's like you can just film every fucking thing that happens. You can film the way people really talk. You can film the dramatic action of how things really go down. Not the way they look on TV, not the way they look in Shakespeare plays, but you can just show things how they really are. And that's kind of what Chekhov, like, I love Chekhov. To me, I'm almost like more into Chekhov. Even though I haven't read Three Sisters or The Cherry Orchard. I've only read The Seagull and Uncle Vanya, and Chekhov is like one of my all-time favorites because those plays feel as dramatic as life is and as like emotional and disappointing as life is, but they also feel like they're plays, and the dude does shoot himself at the end and blah blah blah. So there's things that happen. It's not just like some vlog about nothing. It's not just like a Michelangelo Antonioni film about being on an island or something. So I don't know. To get into the next dimension, Shakespeare smoked weed, supposedly. Supposedly they found cannabis and cocaine in his garden. They found like some kind of hash pipe in his garden in Stratford. At the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's like Bob Dylan to me is somebody that like, I think you could say his achievement is sort of comparable to Shakespeare. I mean, maybe that sounds crazy, but like the dude has been a bard for like 60 fucking years. He's written like most of the totally essential, like, you know, prayer, like poetry songs of like the last fucking 60 years. You know, his work has like shitloads of character, shitloads of human dimension, shitloads of just like psychology, truth, the language, obviously, the poetry of this, the word by word, line by line. But he, you know, he has this myriad character and voice thing where like all these memorable, you know, iconic characters kind of flow through his songs. Mr. Jones or Isis. I don't know. Alicia Keys. JFK. William Zanzinger, Hattie Carroll. You know, it's just like there's a lot of... and so I don't necessarily think... You know, Shakespeare has this body of work that I think lends itself to that kind of packaging, where it's like he has this whole oeuvre. You know, there's all these colors to the rainbow. There's tragedies, there's comedies, there's histories, there's surreal kind of fantasy plays. Bob, I think, is kind of the same way. It's like he's got sad music, he's got happy music, he's got party music, he's got travel music. You know, he's got it all. He's got young people, he's got old people, he's got babies. He's got Captain Ahab and the Mayflower and so yeah, I don't know. I think in a certain way it's like we're always, well, you know, the idea with Shakespeare, I think, is that he was able to portray human psychology in just like a way that, with a truth that nobody else could kind of reach. You know, he could really sketch, like Da Vinci or something. You know, the way that those guys could really just like sketch life, the body, the what's that Da Vinci picture of like the man? What's that called? The naked man or the anatomical man or something? The biological man. You know, Shakespeare could just kind of show you more dimensions. But, you know, is Breaking Bad better than Shakespeare? You know, in some ways, I think that's kind of where the sound barrier got broken, was with the long-form narrative television. You know, it's like Shakespeare never did that. It's all self-contained in these plays. The plays are, you know, I guess there is like Henry VI, which is like 3 parts and all that kind of shit. But like most of the Shakespeare plays are kind of self-contained, and they're like episodes, or, you know, they're like different inflections of one thing almost. But, you know, it's like now with Breaking Bad, with The Sopranos, Mad Men, whatever it is, Girls, Broad City, Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know, I think they can tell longer dramatic narratives. All right, good night, Ashley. Love you. Love you, Ashley. That's something that McKee talked about. Robert McKee, I read some interview with him a few years ago, and he was talking about, you know, it's unprecedented. What the number of sides, the amount of incremental kind of character development they can show you in something like Breaking Bad, which is 5 seasons of, you know, whatever, 10 episodes. And I don't know. I think we're in a culture that's like, you know, Shakespeare, they were all readers. And there's a lot of complicated rhetorical things that Shakespeare does. You know, this is something I was thinking about, is every like speech of Shakespeare is like, you know, it's got some kind of rhetorical device and some kind of like metaphorical system and all this. And it's like, why is he doing this? Why are all these characters doing this? And it's like that's his way of making it convincing. The character, you can see the characters convincing each other through their poetry. It's not just arbitrary. It's not just like, oh, I got this long speech, I got to get all this shit out. It's like, no, all of that speech is like scoring points and moving. The characters are moving each other towards their objective, towards whatever, their goal, their chemistry, their poetry of the action or whatever. And, we live in this world of voices now where it's like podcasts, Instagram Reels, people are hungry for hours and hours and hours of speech that is responding to the current situation. That's what I try to do with my poetry. That's what I try to do with these live streams, where it's just like, it's an endless soliloquy of like the politics, global politics, society changing. Shakespeare's commenting on all that stuff, and his characters are kind of like metaphorical pigments or something. They're all part of one big painting. They're almost formulaic to some degree. They're all 5 acts. The climax kind of occurs in the 3rd act or whatever. But keep taking psychedelics, keep doing DMT is, I don't know if there's a comedian. I think part of what worked about Louis' show and what worked about his comedy is he has that ability to like show dimension, human truth that's not just like some easy explanation or, how you want it to be as a writer or something. It's like, here's how shit actually goes down, People get their head cut off, you eat out some old lady in her pickup truck or whatever. It's gnarly, it's gnarly out there. I haven't watched that show in a long time, but, is fucking, was The Sopranos. I think if you watch The Sopranos and you watch Titus, there's a lot of things in common. They both have gore. They both have like extreme violence. Titus has got people's heads getting cut off. It's got, the shit that happens to Lavinia. Basically his whole fucking family just gets so fucked. It's grotesque, the way that he tortures this character in the film, Anthony Hopkins. They just push and push and push this guy. It's like a fucking, it's like a torture porn, almost, Titus. It's like, but in some ways it's not that different than King Lear. The way the Titus character kind of blows it through his own fucking hubris and his own sort of taking for granted what he has. With his children or whatever. Sopranos, yeah, I mean, okay, I've got 20% battery, so I'm just going to be on for a few more minutes. Sopranos, yeah, I agree. To be honest, I liked Mad Men better. I thought Mad Men was an advance in storytelling because it really just unfolded. It didn't rely on violence or, like, action. Like, Sopranos, part of the appeal for a lot of the people, like with Scorsese movies, it's like they're gangster movies. You're going to see Joe Pesci put somebody's head in a vice. You're going to see fucking, Billy Bats get fucking whacked. You're going to see, Joe Pantaleone get his fucking head put in a bowling bag or whatever. It's like they're going to come up with some kind of imaginative, poetic justice. But, Mad Men didn't really rely on that stuff. It was more just kind of about people. The drama of just kind of like how our lives kind of ebb and flow, and it really seemed like it reflected, that was one of the frustrations I had with drama and with movies and plays and shit, is there is this feeling of like it's driving, the action is driving toward like the climax, and like the fucking climax, like you can, it's like, that's what was so interesting about 5 Easy Pieces, is the movie just kind of unfolds. You think it's about this fucking guy who works on an oil derrick, and then, it turns out he gets up in this truck and fucking starts playing piano like fucking Glenn Gould or whatever. And so it's just like you never know where this movie is going to go. You know, it's like one of the things I liked about Mad Men is the show just kind of course, you know, he gets divorced. Roger goes, you know, it's like Pete moves to LA. You know, it's not necessarily these Shakespearean characters like fucking each other over and betraying each other. It's like life is not, that's the problem I have with most of the drama, and it seems like it's priming us. You know, most of the movies that we see are like priming us to expect violence, to expect kind of sociopathic, backstabbing drama, you know, where like people are just fighting and betraying each other, and it's like, that's just not a good example, you know? Yeah, Game of Thrones I really had a problem with. I just thought Game of Thrones just took it to like, I mean, it was dramatically effective, definitely, because they would just tear your heart out. And it was just so pessimistic. You know, it was just like everything good is going to die in some like horrific torture. You know, it's like so much of that show is like sadist, like torture, snuff film. It's like, we're going to put a rat in a fucking barrel and then like heat it up so it like eats this guy's stomach. It's like, what the fuck? Who's watching this? To like see this guy have sex with all his kids and shit. It's like, this show is fucked up. There's tons of nudity and just like, yeah, when that show came on the air, I was just like, this is dark. This is pessimistic, and like, this is for like people who like wish the apocalypse would just come, you know, and they're like waiting for the apocalypse. Because, you know, George W. Bush, I think it was a fucking reflection of like George W. Bush, you know, the hell that we'd been put through post 9/11 and the two wars. Even though that show was on during Obama era, I think it created this pessimism. You know, everything that happened during Bush era created this pessimism, this kind of bleak worldview that made Game of Thrones like, you know, this is why everybody has face tattoos. Everybody's super traumatized. Yeah, 2011. It came out after Bush era, but the Bush era I feel like enabled that. Just the ultimate negativity of just like world-ending doom and gloom and like the dark storytelling of that show. There you go, 1994. Well, the show was what was a cultural phenomenon. You know what I mean? And it just seemed to raise the stakes narratively in the realm of like movies, TV, where it's like they would just crush the audience's expectations. You know, when they killed Ned Stark, that was, and then fucking, who was the little blonde Lannister kid? You know, that was so like Trump era. But it was like, the kid was just such a fucking little bastard. And just everything on that show was twisted. You know, the Lannisters are fucking each other, and the kid falls out of the tower. I didn't see Squid Game. I actually did not watch, you know, all of that viral TV shit. I didn't see Tiger King. I didn't see fucking Squid Game. You know, I just don't really follow that stuff. You know, there's reasons, like, dude, Game of Thrones, it used to be like in Brooklyn at like hipster bars in like fucking Williamsburg, like the hot tattooed people, like Sunday night, it's like they're showing fucking Game of Thrones. It's like a Game of Thrones like fucking viewing party. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? You know, well, I will say some of those shows piqued my interest because they were just very well done. Breaking Bad, Mad Men, The Sopranos. There's a lot of shit I haven't seen that's probably good too, but I'm also just not like a fucking TV zombie. I don't think you should watch that much fucking TV. And these shows are just a huge commitment. They're 80 hours or 100 hours. And it's like a movie's 3 hours, you're in and out. It's almost like short stories versus novels, I guess, in a way. Short story you can kind of do in one sitting. A novel, it's like you got to do it, you got to binge it. And, you know, who's just got, most of these shows are not up to that standard, I wouldn't think. You know, like I'm not interested in fucking, you know, Walking Dead or fucking, you know, Sons of Anarchy or, I mean, and maybe I'm being overly effusive about this, but I did mention Mad Men on Monday at the open mic. Matt Weiner had a fucking, he had an interview in the Paris Review. Matt Weiner, the fucking creator of Mad Men, who was also a writer of Sopranos, had a goddamn art of TV writing interview in the Paris Review. And to be honest, I do think that show was totally worth, just like as an artistic event. It was new. You know, the fact that there was a narrative that was 100 hours long. Same with Sopranos, same with Breaking Bad. It just felt like this is this is the most exciting thing in the culture. To some degree, Game of Thrones, but like I wasn't really into Game of Thrones. That was like peak prestige TV. That was like the golden era of like prestige, long form narrative television. That's why I started doing vlogs. You know, when I started doing scenes from a life, my idea was just like I'll just do a long-form narrative TV show, but like a reality show that's like a poem about my life. But it's like Mad Men, where it is my life. It's not like some, you know, ridiculous, violent mafia thing. It's just fucking, you know, how life actually kind of unfolds. I heard 6 Feet Under was good. I had an ex who was really into Dexter. That's a red flag. You know, that's what's sick about this country. It's like people are watching fucking Dexter. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, it's a serial killer who kills other serial killers. That's a joke in adaptation, like the hack screenwriter. His screenplay is like, oh, it's about a serial killer who kills other serial killers. It's like, that's fucking Dexter. Barry, I heard, was good. I don't know if I'm ready to accept Bill Hader as like a legitimate TV force. I mean, obviously, I love him from Saturday Night Live. He's amazing. But a lot of the Saturday Night Live people, I don't feel like get weightier stuff. You know, why haven't they ever put John Lovitz in like a real fucking movie? You know, or Dana Carvey, or any of those people. Kevin Nealon was on Weeds. Robert Downey Jr. was the first person from Saturday Night Live to ever like win an Oscar, ever. Like, that's kind of nuts. Thinking about how many fucking people have been on Saturday Night Live. None of them has ever won an Oscar, and Robert Downey Jr. almost doesn't even count. He was on it for like 1 year, and it was kind of like a freak thing. It's not like Will Ferrell fucking won an Oscar. Or Dan Aykroyd. Or Jim Belushi, for that matter. There's been plenty of SNL actors who have lost. But, yeah, I don't know. It seems like that era is over. It seems like narrative television is like, I can't even think of a show. Yeah, Melissa, you made out with Melissa Villaseñor? Are you fucking bullshitting me? Is that real? Dude, that's amazing. She's fucking hot. Good for you. Melissa Villaseñor is amazing. She's very talented. She's on TikTok. Halt and Catch Fire. Is that, that's Hunger Games? I do want to see the Hunger Games. Is that, I want to see Donald Sutherland. And I like Jennifer Lawrence, too. I think Jennifer Lawrence is good. She's from Kentucky, so she's sort of like a hillbilly. I think. I don't know. She was opening for a live podcast. She was known for picking guys up on the road. Do you hear that, guys? Next time Melissa Villaseñor is in your town. Somebody gave you that info before you went? You went to fucking Melissa Villaseñor's fucking live podcast taping and made out with her. That is crazy, dude. That's pretty good game, I gotta say. I'm impressed. Not that I'm surprised. I mean, Adam S., I totally believe is the kind of guy that could pull that. For some reason, my biggest fans are like, what's worse, mid TV series or Xbox? You know,
The thing is, okay, actually, when I was watching long-form narrative television, I never had better conversations with cool people. You can start a conversation with anybody about Breaking Bad or whatever dumbass show, because that's what people are doing. That's what normal people are doing. Adam S. was handsome in 2009. He was fucking around with Melissa Villaseñor, baby. That's what kind of people we got in my audience. We got alpha males. I feel like my audience is alpha males. For some reason, I don't, and I'm not a Trumper, and I'm not saying anybody that's watching is a Trumper, but for some reason, a lot of my friends over time are like right-wing people. I don't know why. I think it's just because they go hard. You made out with another celebrity in 2009? Was it Aubrey Plaza? I know a guy who made out with Aubrey Plaza at a party in the Hollywood Hills. He was dressed as Pee Wee Herman. And that was all she needed. She loved his Pee Wee Herman costume. So he made out with Aubrey Plaza. That's insane. I mean, I think Aubrey Plaza's like got to be up near the top of like everybody's sort of dream, you know, celebrity, whatever. Not that, you know, I mean, not that I care, you know. I'm not in the game. I'm spoken for. I think Anne Hathaway is super hot. Did you make out with Anne Hathaway? I think she's super cool. If she hadn't married a billionaire, Kushner, I think she married a Kushner. Fucking idiot. Well, her dad is a lawyer or something. Shakespeare's wife, right, was Anne Hathaway's, was Anne Hathaway. So, I think Xbox is a kind of like, dude, there are highly successful people that play Xbox. And a lot of type A finance people or business people, that's what they do. A lot of people with girlfriends play Xbox. A lot of dudes with hot girlfriends are playing Xbox. And to be honest, at least Xbox is like sort of active. To be honest, if you're playing some of these puzzle games or adventure games or quest games, it's kind of like, I don't play that shit. It's too taxing. It's like a job. It's like, god damn, I gotta figure out how to like kill these aliens and like walk all the way back across like the level to like press this button that I missed. It's like, what am I, a fucking rat in a fucking maze? Like, I think I am not like a video game person. I think that they are like taking people out of life, but they are incredibly popular. They're just too powerful. You know, they're more satisfying than life. And they're less consequential. You know, nothing is really going to hurt you in a video game. You can totally live, you know, like a fucking nervous system trial. But you just do it from your couch while you're drinking Monster Energy drink and eating fucking stuffed crust pizza. I mean, I think it's a common misconception that women are like turned off by video games. I don't think that they care. They don't care if you play video games. If like video games are all you have going on, and like you're not like some major league gamer or something. Like if you're a major league gamer, you probably have a hot ass girlfriend. But, or you know, if you're a Twitch streamer, dude, think about like fucking Twitch streaming. What could be, you know, it's the best, it's the worst of both worlds. It's mid TV and fucking, you're not even playing the game. Do you get nervous that TikTok is my version of Xbox? I do think that TikTok has become like an addiction for me. But I also think it's infotainment. And so I'm curious about it as a contemporary phenomenon in form. You know, I think it will come and go. I think it will have its sort of lifespan. But I also think it's an unprecedented and kind of like, I think it's so addicting that they'll have to make it illegal. You know, it's too powerful. Just like a video game. I mean, I am on TikTok some days like some people are playing World of Warcraft. You know, where it's like I'm on TikTok literally from like the time I get up to like the time I go to bed. Now that doesn't happen often, but it has happened. But to me, it's like I'm learning. You know, it's like I'm feeding myself knowledge, tidbits, you're seeing modern media, you're seeing modern culture, whatever's in the news. I found out about Trump getting shot on TikTok. And so, I don't know. I mean, the phone does pose all of these risks to us. And it's sort of like tricked us into thinking that it's real life, or it's where real life is happening now. But at the same time, like, it's a tool, and it's a tool of outreach, and I don't know. I think TikTok plays nicely against the kind of continuity of reality. I feel like as long as I'm out in the world talking to people, working, TikTok's kind of the way that I recharge. It's like when I'm tired from doing the open mic or being out doing open mics or, whatever the fuck it is, work, it's being, TikTok is like alone time. And it's like warp speed fucking digestion of just the nougat. How do you attract hot Asian women? I will say this. I never did attract Asian women, actually. I've never been with an Asian woman before my current situation. And I don't know why that is. I think they want a guy that's probably got different goals than I have. I don't know, maybe that's a cliche, but I think they probably want somebody that's a little more responsible. They don't want to date some bohemian fuckboy, poet, live streamer. They want a guy who went to like business school or something. I don't know why they didn't like me. It's because I'm not tall. So yeah, I don't know how to attract hot Asian women. You could do what Kuzu Daddy doesn't, I won't say that. Never mind. I will say that New York does have a lot of hot Asian women, so they're out there, just, I don't know what they're looking for, they want a guy their parents approve. That makes sense. See, they seem like responsible. It feels like there's no reason for them to take a chance on me because I don't have any tattoos, I'm not tall, I'm not a bartender, but I'm also not like responsible, professional. I can't pay for anything. I don't have like nice fashion, high-end clothes. I've got sort of a low, I'm poverty. It's about no budget. Half Asian, white dad as far as I got. There you go. Yeah, so I think it's a hard time to, be in Manhattan because there's just hot Asian women everywhere. And they don't want us. I don't know who they want. They want hot Asian guys. They want BTS. They want these 6 foot, dark, mysterious Asian guys that are like silent, have super like Rick Owens, like high-end, flossy sweatpants and shit. It's like, I'm like a relic from, zine culture, hipster, PBR, shitgaze world. Any Asian girl that's going to get with me probably is like some PBR, like tattooed jorts, cut off. Having money makes video games acceptable. Yeah, like if you're professional, like dude, there's so many fucking hot girls I see on TikTok that are like, oh, my boyfriend's playing video games. It's like a lot of people that are very accomplished, like that's what they do. They play fucking video games. They play Xbox. Whereas it's me, I haven't played video games in like 15 fucking years, and look at me. I'm a loser. I'm a drug addict loser with no money. I will say that I think a lot of culture, particularly male culture, it's taking place on Xbox. People are like, what happened to all the men? Where are all the men? It's like they're playing Xbox. They're on fucking headsets, playing Call of Duty, saying racist shit in an ironic edgelord way. They're like Elon Musk, It's like you can tell that guy just learned everything he knows from like internet forums and online gaming, conversation. It's like leet. It's leet ponage. Nobody says that anymore. Do people remember leet ponage? Does that mean anything to Gen Z? Leet ponage? That was very big in like 2005 on Counter-Strike. But I don't know. Don't do either. I would say if you want to get laid, it's all about self-improvement. But, you know, you need a way. I do think part of self-improvement is like you need a way to decompress. If that's video games, if it's TikTok, whatever that is, it's like you can't really, it's not healthy necessarily to just go. It's like your body will shut down. You know, it's like you kind of need things that are like, me, I don't know. My life has been more about pacing myself over the last decade, where it's like I try to kind of do things at a nice pace. It's kind of slow but steady. You know, like the open mic, once a week. Maybe I'm not doing other shows every week, but it's like I'm hitting that once a week, and I don't miss that, but I don't overdo it. You know, I'm not like, oh, okay, I'm going to go out and do every fucking thing now. It's like, no, I do that once a week, and you don't want to burn out, you know, so video games, TikTok, whatever it is, Jim Belushi movies, K9, you know, whatever your drug of choice, whatever you need to keep your sanity. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge video game guy, but they're just too powerful, and they're supplanting reality. You know, it's like people are not going to say no to things that, like, make them feel good and make that, and like, give them that experience, you know? So it's like video games are the media now, you know? Video games are more powerful than movies. They're more powerful than music in a lot of ways. And they're social in a weird way. You know, people play video games online with their friends and shit. People they went to college with. You know, when I was I played Halo 2. I would play with people that I went to college with at OU. I lived in Columbus. Dude, my whole freshman year of college, it's all I did was play Halo. I spent 10 grand to play Halo. I wish I was out getting laid. Dude, it's not easy. It's not easy to understand women, to communicate with them. You know, there's drama, there's pain. This is why guys play video games, because there's no real stakes. You know, it's just like a way to drain your life away. You're not going to get rejected. You're not going to get your feelings hurt by, you know, well, you might get your feelings hurt when you lose or whatever, but it's, you know, you're not going to be any real fucking, like, pain or fucking, people are looking at me like I'm crazy. So video games are like they're comfort zone. They're total junk food. I remember Mario Paint. You know, to me, it never got any better than that. That was about, like, creativity, writing music, making animations. I wish they'd bring that back. You know, to me, that's what life is, the video game. You know, doing open mics, having a career, trying to make it. That's the video game. Trying to be a poet. You know, that's the fucking video game to me. But I also don't have health insurance, and, you know, a lot of people have video games. You know, maybe I'll end with this. I saw this thing the other day. It's like one of the reasons why they want people to have full-time jobs is not because of productivity. They know you're not going to be any more productive than you are after 3 days or whatever. They want people to work full-time so they will be too tired to fight back. And so they'll be too tired to do anything other than play fucking video games or watch TV or watch TikTok. And so for me, that's part of, okay, that's what video games are. It's like you work your ass off, you're in finance or whatever, you slave away all week, you got an apartment in the West Village with a projection TV, you come home on the weekend and you play fucking Xbox, you know, because you got no fucking energy to do anything else except drink. Maybe you go to the gym, but it's like you're not gonna fucking do anything creative. You're not gonna go to a protest. You're not gonna you don't want to think about politics, you know? You just want to zone out and kill people. Take your frustrations out on Call of Duty. And I won't do that. You know, to me, life is the adventure. That's what we're fucking here. We're already playing a fucking video game, in a way. You know, it's already a first-person goddamn shooter. But I don't think you can stop the video games, and so I don't know, they should put poetry in video games. They should have some open mic video game or something, some stand-up comedy video game. Or you like do stand-up comedy in the virtual comedy club or something. There was one other thing I was going to say. What the fuck was it? Yeah, I don't know. In a certain way, video games are just another kind of experience. They're one of the modern phenomenon. It's like the fact that you can... Yeah, there you go. I listen to Rush when I'm playing Call of Duty. I hate fucking Rush. Rush is like video games to me. It's like, yeah, they're great. They're kind of undeniably great. But I don't want that. I don't want that overpowering complication in my life. I don't want this prog drum busy. I don't want this busy music filling up my mind, with like overstimulation. I don't need to go on some fantasy alien science fiction stimulation journey. It's like I like real life. I like, look, obviously Rush is incredible. They are obviously a great band. I'm just so annoyed at how popular they are. Because people act like they're some underdog or something. Like, oh man, Rush is so great. It's like, fuck Rush. They're nerd fucking... Yeah, I'm more into ambient music for airports. There you go. Okay, I'll listen to Vapor Trails. I'll listen to 2112 or whatever. Look, people love Rush. The proof is in the pudding, but I don't know. I'm somebody that... This is the reason why I don't have a full-time job. I don't want to be one of these people that's too tired to fight back and to actually live my life. And, even though I didn't make it, even though I'm not a success, I did do what I wanted to do, sort of, on my own terms. Maybe it didn't work, but I've had an interesting life, sort of. Even though I've been stuck in New York for the last 4 years. And New York, I don't know. I don't think New York has really been that good to me. I hate to say it, compared to the way that it treats some people. New York really hasn't, gone out of its way to, lift me up or anything. It's been a battle. New York has just been a battle. And I feel like I've just been hanging on for, 15 years. And that's partially because I don't have a job. I don't want a job. I want to be an artist, And so I do that full fucking time. And TikTok is a part of that, I don't, apparently live streaming video games is the greatest thing you can do because thousands of people will watch you do that. And nobody wants to see my fucking yap sessions except you fucking brilliant genius angels. But, I don't want to live in a world where people will watch people fucking play video games on the internet. That makes no fucking sense to me. And it's like apocalyptic laziness. People just opting out of real beauty. And I won't do that. I'm opting in. All right, well, I'm going to get off now before my phone dies. Thank you for watching. I'm going to get back on tomorrow. We're keeping the live stream alive. It's, we're getting good feedback. So, we're winning. We're winning. We're winning the presidency. Adam S. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Then maybe I'll end with this. Adam S. made out with Melissa Villaseñor. That is, incredible. You're my hero. You must have been really good looking. How tall are you? Are you 5'10" at least? I feel like I just would have had a completely different life if I was 5'10". And I'm not bitter. I'm not like one of these short guys that's like, oh, I hate being short. It's like, I just know I would have just probably had a better life, I would have, women would have liked me better. But in any case, yeah. With me, it's like I watch TikTok while I'm listening to YouTube. So it's like I like listening to hours-long podcast type deep dives. But it's also TikTok is that kind of rapid fire short attention. So you're getting, it's second screen content. Why not? Why not have three fucking, like Elvis? Why not have three screens going at once? I think all higher beings are multi-sensory simultaneously. It's like you should be listening to music and watching TV and having a conversation and smoking and reading all at the same fucking time. It's like, why? That's the modern life. You want to touch every part of your brain, you know, as much as you can, and live in this kind of multi-dimensional. And so it's like, listen to music, watch TV, watch TikTok, watch The Sopranos, do it all at the same fucking time, you know. They're all traveling at different tempos within like a bigger symphony. You know, it's like TikTok is like the fast kind of hi-hat. You know, YouTube long video is like the ambient kind of like tone in the background. You know, a movie is like harmony vocals or something. All right, where the fuck am I going? I'm going to I'm going to Canal Street. Okay. Maybe I'll go down West Broadway. So it's a polyphonic spree that we're on here. You know, watch YouTube at the open mic. Right, you know, why not? Read at the open mic. Go out in real life and do both. I'm kind of afraid to go to open mics. It's been a while. I'm out of practice, so it's like I got to get my nerve up again to go out and do it. But God damn it, there's one other fucking thing I wanted to say. I can't remember. I guess it wasn't important. Well, I've made my point anyway. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a video game guy, really. It's too fucking passive for me, but every other dude I know from my background plays video games, like, you know, way more than I watch TikTok, probably. It's their whole life, you know? So, I don't know. It's just like, I think you just kind of accept that. You just got to accept that video games are like huge male fucking hobby, occupation. Okay, well, I don't think I'm going to remember what the fuck I was going to say, so before my phone dies, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, tell your friends. Thank you for sharing that moment. Like I said, we got a lot of views on that. And so I think people are going to click my live stream to check it out and just going to see what the buzz is about. So thank you for being a proponent of it. You know, I feel like I just get to say everything that I need to get out and want to communicate to people. And you just can't get that stage time. You know, there's no way you can get 2 hours stage time and reach all these fucking people. It's like, now it's like, you know, you can touch people all over town if they click on it. You know, they can touch base with you and see it in its pure uncut form, you know. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll be back on tomorrow, okay? Yeah, Ben Callahan, thank you for sharing that. Because I reposted on the Easy Paradise thing, and I got actually a lot of views on the Instagram stories. So, do other people look at who looks at their Instagram stories, or is that problematic? Is that toxic? Thanks, Adam S. You'll have to let us know who the other celebrity you made out with next time. You have to tell us that story. When you were young and wild and running against the wind. Against the wind. Against the wind. Against the wind.
Against the wind. Against the wind. She's a dog. Uh-oh. Okay, it wasn't Lena Dunham, was it? Does that mean now we're being judgmental? All right, musician. Uh-oh. She's a dog who's a musician. Is it Macy Gray? I can't imagine who that would be. I thought they were all hot. Wilson Phillips. All right. My lips are sealed. All right. Well, we'll sleep on